Hello there, my name's Luke and welcome to my channel. So, since the release of my last video where I photographed the Pelican Nebula, quite a few people have asked me to perform a quick tutorial showing how I basically took the standard dual narrowband appearance image, which would be kind of a reddish set of tones, and turned it into kind of a Hubble palette looking image, or at least something that resembles a more standard approach to narrowband imaging. And so this is what that is. I'm open to present it to you kind of just a raw basics approach because I know that everybody's got their own methods of performing noise reduction and sharpening and things like that. So this is just going to be how to take the base image and turn those colors from reds into kind of a Hubble emulation. And I hope that this is easy enough to follow and that you enjoy watching. So let's get started. Now, this is the base image, and as you can see immediately, it's very green and it's also the wrong way up. So first things first, I'm going to use the geometry tool and fast rotation. I'm going to turn it 180 degrees so it's presented in the same way that I showed it on the video. Okay, the next thing I'm going to want to do is background neutralization. So color calibration, background neutralization. It's worth noting that all of these tools, I've got some of them lined up along the side here as part of my standard processing workflow, but you can find every single one of them in process and all processes. If you're struggling finding things, they're all alphabetically listed, so it's not too hard to find what you're looking for. The next thing I'm going to do is you do a color calibration on this. Just wait a moment for that to perform. At times I will kind of cut ahead if things are going to take a long time. And while I'm thinking about it now, I actually will resample this image. So that's process, geometry, and resample. This is not going to alter things, it's just going to make it so that whenever I perform something, it should take 1/4 the time that it would for you at home if you're performing it on a unscaled image. So I'll just grab that and apply. Okay. Right then, so now the last thing I want to do is SCNR to this image. And now moving on from the color calibration part, we're actually going to perform an automatic background extraction because I noticed that the dark parts of the image over here are quite a lot lighter than this side. And I think that's due to the fact that this was closer to the light pollution dome of my town than this was. Even though it's not a particularly wide field of view, it's enough that you do see gradients across the frame. So we want to apply a subtraction, and I don't want to see the background model. I'm not really going to need it. I'm going to try this with a function degree of 1 because it's quite a weak gradient. And just apply the STF to this. And I think it needs another iteration and maybe one more. Okay, I'm satisfied that that's pretty flat and we can move on to the next thing. So I'm going to close all the other images. All right, so now I'm going to take this image into the non-linear phase. So as you can see, currently still it's linear data, and that would be non-linear if I apply this to the histogram for this image. So I'm just going to drag the STF stretch onto the histogram tool and drag that across to the image. Reset both, and the image is now non-linear. So before I move on, now we've got this freshly non-linear image, I'm going to actually use StarNet. So this is going to be key. We do want to create a star mask because I'm going to add those stars back in later using Pixel Math. But I want to work on the image without the stars, basically. So I'll come back to you in a moment once this is finished. All right, so StarNet's finished now, and as you can see, we've got an image containing just the stars and a starless nebula. So I'm going to rename this to stars. This is not important. If you prefer to type out the actual given name, that's fine. I just prefer to keep it as simple as possible when I'm redoing the pixel math to add them back together. So now I'm going to take this image. I'm going to open processors, channel management, and channel extraction. As you can see, I've already got an input here. I'm going to extract R, G, and B, and it's all in the RGB color space. I'm going to throw away the blue channel and keep just red and green, because I'm actually going to make a third channel. So you'll notice immediately that the red channel is quite a lot more luminous and strong than this green. So the task right now is going to be to take the histogram tool on this green image. I'll just make sure it's selected. Get a live preview going so I can see both that red image and the green that I'm working on. And I want to kind of stretch it until the mid levels and the background are quite similar between the two images. So I'm going to take the midpoint of this histogram, drag it up, and take the shadows and drag them down. Hopefully you can see, perhaps in the darker areas here, that we're keeping, let's say, this part of the nebula similar in terms of brightness. So I'll apply that, and it needs another stretch. So we're going to go again, a little bit more on the mid, and a little bit lower on the shadows. So we're actually starting to clip pixels now, so I'm going to stop right there, reset everything, and you'll know I'm nowhere near just yet in terms of luminosity. So I'm going to take over now with curves. So with this green selected, and again a live preview, I'm going to take the RGBK part of the curves, drag the midpoint upwards, which is going to increase the luminosity values of all the midtones, but it's also going to bring up these backgrounds naturally. So I'm going to take the lower part of the curve and drag that down into a very gentle S and kind of preserve that background level that we were looking for in the first place. Go ahead and apply that. And hopefully you can see we're getting towards emulating that red channel quite well now. Maybe one more tiny curves adjustment. Yeah, I think that's been worth doing. We'll apply that. All right, so we're going to make that third channel now. So to do that, we're going to go to Process and Pixel Math. And we're going to create this third channel with red times 0.6, add green times 0.4. That's going to be the weights that you want. Now it's important to set a new image as the destination. You don't want it overwriting either of these because we actually still need both. Just go ahead and hit apply. And I'll rename this to blue, even though we're not actually going to use it in that channel. It'll become apparent in a moment that it's just keeping things quite simple. So rather than use the RGB combination tool, I'm going to use the LRGB combination and use red as my luminosity image. I'm going to use red also in the red channel. I'm going to use the freshly created blue in the green channel, and I'm going to take the native green and use that in the blue. I'm sorry if this is seems confusing, but it should make sense in a moment. And the reason I'm going to use LRGB combination is because it's going to allow me to use chrominance noise reduction while performing this combination. So you're going to want to apply that globally and just wait a moment for this to finish. It shouldn't take 2 seconds. All right. So hopefully you can see now we've got a nice color image that's not at all like the standard appearance of these dual narrowband, but it's not quite there as to what I presented on the video. Obviously, on that effort, I took multiple hours really, several iterations later until I was happy and had a final result I was willing to share. But in the spirit of this tutorial and keeping it short and to the point, I'm just going to show you roughly what to do next. So I'm happy that we've done all the histogram adjustment that we needed. So I'm going to finish this this image off now, mainly with curves. So I'd like to see more blue. So in that case, I'm going to select the blue channel, open a preview, and I'm going to raise that midpoint and drop the shadows. So now the aim with this, and this is quite important, as you can see, as I make a pip on this and drag, let's say, up, or indeed not at all, the background areas have got a blue bias to them because I'm altering the blue channels values. Now, if I take this part of the histogram down here, representing the lower values in the image, and drag it downwards too far, the green channel is going to become stronger, and so the background is going to naturally bias towards green. The aim of this lower part of the adjustment, once you're happy with the midpoint, is basically going to be take this back to a neutral looking grey, and to my eye, there, I would say, looks about neutral and grey. It just happens to be where this line bisects that little cross section there. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. I think it needs another boost in that blue channel. And again, neutralize the background. So that looks quite grey to my eye. Go ahead and apply. Now it needs more reds to kind of bring out those golden tones in the main part of the nebula. So I'm going to do the same thing, boost the mids and drop the shadows and bring things back into some form of color balance. So not too low and it gets kind of green biased, and not too high and it's looking kind of brown. I think that's somewhere in the middle and I'm quite happy with that. I still think it needs a little more, so I'm going to do the same thing again, just a little bit less aggressively this time. Okay, I'm satisfied at that. Now you're probably thinking, this doesn't look anything like the image just yet, and you'd be absolutely right. But we're going to make use of a script that comes pre-installed, and it's actually for removing magenta from stars that you'd commonly see in SHO combinations. But in this case, it's going to work just fine on this. So it's called correct magenta stars. That's the script you want. Just hit execute. I'm leaving everything standard. And now we're back to a nice tealy background, and now more of a golden tone to this main part of the nebula. You'll notice maybe the background's a little bit green now, and we'll correct that in a moment. But before I get on to that, it needs more saturation. So again, back to the curves tool. As you're probably noticing now, 90% of this image were processed using curves, basically. I'm going to boost the saturation up a good way. It's going to have the natural effect of also boosting that green that we don't want, but that's easily dealt with. So we're going to we're going to select the green channel, put a small pip in the middle. So I don't want to actually increase or decrease those green values and alter the color balance too much. I kind of want to leave it roughly where it is, but I do want to drag downwards the low tones of it. So as you can see, if I do that, it brings it into a more pleasing color state. If I just cycle back and forth on the preview, just that one movement on the green shadows has made things look a lot more like the image that I presented at the end. Perhaps a little more saturation. And yeah, I'm satisfied at that. It's gone back to being a little bit more purple. So once more with the script, utilities, correct magenta stars, execute that. Once more, maybe a tiny adjustment on those green curves. As you can see, this is just an iterative process. You could stop wherever you were pleased, and that's absolutely fine. It's all down to you, how far you want to take it. And I think that's about right to my eye. I'm going to go ahead and apply. Right, so now we've got quite a beautiful starless image, but I want to add those stars back in. And that's really easy to perform. Just process, pixel math. Sorry, I'll rename this as well, so it's simple to do. Call it actually what it is, starless. So process, pixel math, and we're going to perform starless plus stars, as simple as that, and hit apply. Now hopefully you can see we are most of the way there to a completed image. It's already looking quite nice. Again, like I mentioned earlier on in the video, you've got so many options in PixInsight as to how you want to perform your own noise reduction or sharpening or any of the other innumerable tools in this program. But this is at least going to show you, hopefully, the basic method that I used to turn the image from looking kind of a little bit more basic, perhaps. Where is it? To a bit more of an attractive or perhaps more exotic color palette. Hopefully you can see there's quite a stark difference there. And indeed, the image is more dynamic when portrayed in this way, because you can see the oxygen parts of the nebula much more easily than you can on a standard representation. So it's worth adding, I guess. Recently, I got an Instagram account, and if any of you are on there, I'd love to see what you do with your own images using this sort of tutorial. And I'm also more than open to any pointers and tips that you guys have. I mean, this is just the way I do it. It's by no means the way to do it. It's just how I do it. And certainly, if I can do it, any of you can. I'm I'm nothing special by any means. So yeah, just show me what you get up to, and I'd love to chat with you in the comments and see how you get on. So until next time, I hope that helped, and clear skies.